Welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be talking about some more Bar Rescue. Today we're on Season 3, Episode 14, Play Some More Janet Jackson.
Put some Janet Jackson on.
I'm not putting Janet Jackson on, okay?
Come on, somebody play some Janet Jackson here.
Oh, you're kind of,
Ron must correct the behavior of a drunk and verbally abusive owner if he's going to save the historic Gypsy, Las Vegas' first gay nightclub.
Ain't no ugly dudes allowed.
Which, spoilers by the way, the description says like if Jon Taffer can save this nightclub, he fucking changes the name by the end. He doesn't care that much about preserving the bar.
Is the name Gypsy serving you well?
Fucker wants to update this shit. And also, no offense to Paul, but you cannot look at this guy and tell me he doesn't look like the Grinch if he had human skin. That's exactly what I saw all episode. In 1993, Paul bought the Gypsy in Las Vegas. At that point, it was a 16-year-old gay nightclub.
There was a line out the door. It was just amazing.
And in its prime, Gypsy made $160,000 a month.
It was the place to be every single day of the week.
But I guess in the 90s, people moved on from Gypsy because there's so much other options for bars and nightclubs. And according to the narrator, when Paul was overwhelmed by his debt, he started spiraling.
Cocktails are good. You suck, bitches.
Okay, I can see why you say he's spiraling.
Do I look like your mobile home trailer park?
Honestly though, can you imagine that's how your boss talks to you? That'd be fucking insane. And apparently too at work, he would just disappear for like a week anytime there was a problem. Like anytime it seemed like, I don't know, maybe he got an argument with somebody or he owed people money, anything like that. Fucker just disappears.
Don't disappear for a week. Come in and try and fix the problem.
And then Paul also got slapped with a $400,000 fine for failing to pay live entertainment taxes. How do you have live shows and aren't like making sure you got all that shit figured out? Yeah, but that's wild. That's a lot of money to be fined for taxes.
Paul finds himself $2 million in debt.
Fuck. Where is he gonna get all this money? I mean, Jon Taffer just fixing his nightclub isn't gonna pay all this debt he's in. He needs to do a lot of other things to fix this debt.
When your dream turns into a nightmare.
That's fucking terrifying. Isn't that so fucking terrifying? Like, he's just a miserable person, you know?
There it is, Gypsy.
But so Jon Taffer arrives with Rachel Ford. She specializes in making cocktails with a twist.
Rachel specializes in making fresh cocktails with a twist.
You know, they never really say what the twist is with that, but she makes a good cocktail, I hear. And then later, Jon Taffer points out that their sign outside, the eye, is just completely out. And then their awnings are just covered in bird shit. It's really gross.
Does that seem stylish to you?
If I was a pigeon, maybe then it'd be stylish.
Birds, that's about it.
And then now Jon brings up some customer reviews from while he was surveying the bar. And there's really not a lot here, but one group does end up saying that this used to be the place to be, and like now it's just dead.
It was the place to be, and now it's dying.
Which, I mean, that does show that the community does kind of care about the place, but also they don't care about it enough to come with more friends, so.
There it is.
We meet Jeff, the assistant manager, and Chino, the general manager. And then when Jon and Rachel are looking over at Paul, he's just completely drunk already and acting so silly.
That's irresponsible. It's also stupid.
Yeah, you tell him, Jon. But so instead of going in himself, Jon sends some local experts, Daniel and Joe. Apparently these guys know all about bars.
So what I've asked them to do is go in and do our recon for us tonight.
They head inside and order a gin martini, and he gets it in a plastic glass, as Jon Taffer puts it.
That's the way they serve a martini, in a plastic glass.
I think you mean cup? A plastic cup? That's not a glass?
Who wants a warm martini? It's disgusting.
And then next they end up ordering a whiskey sour, and that also comes in a plastic glass. And then Joe's really upset because they don't have vermouth for his martini.
We don't have any vermouth.
I really hope it's vermouth.
What kind of bar doesn't have vermouth?
It's written out vermouth, and I can't remember how they said it, so fingers crossed it's vermouth.
If you don't have vermouth, you can't serve a martini.
You know, he is the expert, so I'll take his word for it, but I know nothing about that shit. But Daniel isn't too happy about his drink either.
Very disgusting.
And then now Paul starts getting really fucking annoying, yelling for Brandon.
Brandon! Put some Janet Jackson on.
This motherfucker just wants to dance to some Janet Jackson and nobody will let him. What the fuck? Come on.
Excuse me.
But Brendan refuses and Paul keeps yelling at him, and then he even ends up smacking a drink off the counter as well. And he's sitting with a group of guys, and Azim walks by, one of the dancers, and he ends up grabbing him, and he's like, ooh, you're kind of yummy. It's so creepy.
Oh, you're kind of,
That is his boss, and he's grabbing him, being like, I'd like to lick your banana.
Put Janet on or you're fired.
And then Paul starts touching more people, and he makes Joe and Daniel really uncomfortable.
Why are you such a nasty bitch?
So then they end up asking, like, is this shit normal? And then they're informed that this is actually the owner of the bar.
That's actually the owner.
Good. Okay.
And then Paul is yelling, you're getting paid to do nothing. And then Brandon yells at him to stop yelling, and he ends up grabbing a drink and throws it across the bar, and it breaks on the wall, shatters all over the place.
All right. See why they use plastic glasses.
What is with all these people saying plastic glasses? Do you hear what you're saying? It doesn't make any fucking sense. Plastic glasses. And then when they ask Paul, why did he throw that? He goes,
If you do your job, I wouldn't have thrown a glass at you.
I know the fucker's drunk, but that's wild. Well, that's fucking insane. This guy is just a menace. He's fucking grabbing people, throwing drinks, yelling at Brandon, trying to get Janet Jackson on.
Put some Janet Jackson on.
Everyone's just watching him spiral.
Oh, it's gonna be a rough week.
Put some ice in there.
And then with how much money this guy's losing too, I don't understand where he gets the balls to act like this.
Give me a lap dance.
And then after that, Paul asks how big the guy's wiener is.
How big you?
And immediately after that, Jon Taffer's had enough and he runs straight into the bar. Now, I don't know if he ran straight in because he also was curious how big the guy's wiener is, but you know, he ran straight in.
I love to party.
And he's furious at Paul. He's really pissed off at just the way he's acting in there.
When he comes in, he's all pissed off. Ooh, I'm scared. But you know what? Dude,
So then Jon Taffer walks in there and ends up shaking his hand.
I so have heard of you.
I've definitely heard of you. Are you Gordon Ramsay?
How drunk are you now?
Jon Taffer tells him, though, that he's been watching him abuse his employees and disrespect everybody in there.
Yeah, because they suck.
And then Jon switches it around on him, starts saying, what if I called you an asshole? And just starts saying all the things that Paul's failing at and all shit like that, and just getting in his face.
And tell you that you're a Would you like it?
And you wouldn't believe it, Paul ends up doubling down on all the shit he's saying. He is like saying that Jon Taffer's right, but he also doubles down at the same time.
I think they deserved it.
Paul sucks, but he also rocks at the same time, you know what I mean? Like, he's such a prick, but I do really like watching him. Something about him.
There was no reason to get, like, all that. Treat people like people.
I mean, you got it there, Paul, so I don't know why you're saying that. I do also feel like maybe his employees did do something, because he just keeps insisting that they deserve what he's giving to them. And he's just calling them bitches, all just horrible shit, right to their face. And I'm just curious. I feel like there's lore here that I need to know.
And my employees, they deserved it.
Spoilers, the rest of the episode, we don't really get into any of that, really, so I don't know what the backstory is there, but I feel like there's something. And then at this point, Jon Taffer's trying to talk to the managers and just get something done with the night. And Paul's just bouncing up and down, being like, where's my drink? Can you give me a drink? Hello, drink?
Boy, drink, bitch. I'm talking. Fill my drink.
It's so fucking weird and uncomfortable, but it's also, like, really funny at the same time.
I want some more Janet Jackson.
So embarrassing.
I want a drink, bitch. This is getting worse by the minute.
Yeah, I think Jon Taffer might be getting a little bit frustrated with Paul here.
I'm thirsty.
So Jon Taffer snaps, he yells, he's leaving, and he'll come back tomorrow when Paul is sober. He can't deal with it right now.
Get in the cab and go home, jerk.
And if at this point maybe you thought Paul didn't know what he was doing, guess what?
Trust me, I know what I'm doing.
Convinced yet? And then Paul says that he actually thinks that if Jon got to know him better, that they could party a little bit, and then Jon would be like, you know, I'm wrong, and this guy's right.
Oh my God, Paul, you were so right, and now I'm so wrong.
And then the next day, Paul is scared to meet Jon Taffer again because of the way he acted last night.
I was actually really scared having to meet with him today after everything that happened last night.
Paul also says that his mom died and that got him into a really long depression, which I completely get, but that's no excuse for fucking yelling at your employees and shit like that, you know? And then Jon Taffer sets a rule, no drinking the entire time he's there or he's gonna walk.
If you are drunk while I'm here, I walk out.
And then Jon actually takes him to his employees and makes him apologize to everybody. And of course, when he gets there, he's just fucking laughing and giggling the whole time.
I feel better if you look serious rather than smile, to be honest with you, Paul.
He half-ass apologizes to everybody, and they all agree that he is sorry, but they know that whenever he gets drunk, he's just gonna do all this again. So they're like, I accept it, but at the same time, I don't.
I'm not convinced that it won't happen again.
And then Jon introduces Rachel Ford to the group, and her and Jon end up going over the bar, like the sink and everything that's gross in the place, and showing them everything that's dirty. And they kind of try to blame it on like, oh, we ended up leaving early last night because of the commotion and everything. But they all know this has been there for weeks. This isn't just one night's worth of dirt.
Bar was absolutely disgusting.
And then Jon ends up saying here that this isn't just Paul's fault. He actually gives all three of them the credit for this, and that it's Chino and Jeff as well. He holds all of them responsible.
No. This is not one night's dirt. You know that.
And then Jon Taffer makes everybody clean up the bar, or else he's gonna fire them. You know, he likes to do that a lot. He's like, do this, or I will fire you. That's like his go-to.
Get back here and clean the bar.
Or I'm gonna fire your ass. Amazing what a few hours and a little effort will do, huh, guys?
And then now Rachel teaches the gang how to make a London dry martini. And yes, they have vermouth now, so that, you know, fucking Joe or Daniel can stop their bitching about it.
Vermouth makes all the difference.
And then Jon Taffer packs up the bar for a stress test. And then he brought Daniel, Joe, and a girl named Amy to help bartend for the night and just showed them how professionals do it. And then eventually he's gonna swap them out and have everybody else do a turn of bartending.
Those boys are cute and everything, but we could rock it a lot more than they can.
And then after watching for a bit, now it's time for the first group of boys to step up and show Jon Taffer what they got. It's Brandon, and I don't remember the other guy's name, but they're the pairs up first.
Bitter as hell, right? Make him again.
Really, bitch?
You know, really?
Yikes, it's really not going well, and apparently the drink average there is 22 minutes. It's taking 22 minutes per drink to be made there. Fucking crazy, that's really bad. And then Brandon gets told that he has to remake his drinks, and then he completely fumbles at remaking them.
They were struggling.
And now it's Livio and Jerry's turn, and they end up doing really great. Rachel's really impressed with them. She said too, especially for the mess and the chaos that they were thrown into, she's surprised how good they did.
Livio's pretty great.
And then Paul gets points for being sober and not yelling at anybody.
So it's a step forward.
And now their drag show starts, and Jon Taffer has a little review for us.
Show stinks.
He said that the moment the show started, that it made all of the bar business completely stop for 45 minutes, and that they probably actually lost money because of the show. And now his goal is to set out to make something that causes people to drink, which I will say by the end, I don't think his new way causes people to drink more. It just is less of a distraction, I guess. We'll get into that at the end.
I need to create something different, something that causes people to drink.
But so the stress test is over, and John gives Livio and Jerry their props, and then somehow Brandon manages to take credit for it too.
I hired them a long time ago, so it's a big compliment to me.
And then John breaks the bad news to everybody that he's killing the drag show as it currently is.
The drag show as we know it is dead.
And then we get the start of a remodel where they go outside and they take down their sign, and everybody gets just fucking so sad about it and starts breaking down in tears.
Don't you ever in my club again.
Everybody's just shocked and they're crying because of how long the bar has been here, and it means something to them with that, but at the same time it's kind of like whatever, things have to move on. If you bring Jon Taffer along, you gotta expect him to change the name. That fucker does that everywhere.
I'm a lot shocked.
But for now, he keeps the new name secret to them, and he takes them inside and says he wants to turn this place into a high-level lounge. He also says he's taking down their one big stage, and he's gonna create 3 little performance stages for them, so they can have different shows going on at different times.
I don't quite understand exactly what's going on. I'm gonna have to see it for myself to believe it.
And then also now, because there's 3 stages, he actually wants the bartenders
To have 2 minutes of fame in this place.
which that's pretty fun. I like that. I like that they, the bartenders, if they want, get to go up on stage and shake their dicks around or whatever. I'm not saying that I want to watch them shake their dicks. I'm just saying if they enjoy doing that, that's an option.
You guys are gonna perform.
And then John also brings Dominique Kelly to come in and choreograph some dances for them, so at least something looks kind of professional.
Is that a bit? It's ha ha.
I was really hoping to see Jon Taffer bust a move in there, but we didn't get to see it. And then while they're finishing up the remodeling, Paul ends up meeting up with Jon Taffer to discuss some unforeseen staff concerns.
One of my largest concerns is Brandon.
This came out of fucking nowhere. He ends up telling him that they haven't seen the real side of Brandon, that he's normally a dickhead to customers and just rude to people. He has a very short fuse, apparently.
So I'm not seeing the real Brandon.
But Jon Taffer does defend him a little bit and says he's been working really hard. Let's give him the night of the relaunch and see how he does from there. And they both agree to that.
Let's see how he does at relaunch and reevaluate him then.
And then a little bit later, now it's time for John to reveal the new bar to them, and he's counting down to do it, and Paul fucking interrupts him and ends up firing Brandon in front of everybody. He lists out all the reasons that he gave Jon Taffer earlier, and then just tells him he can't be a part of the new business.
You should not be a part of the new company. I need to let you go.
And what's kind of funny too is Brandon kind of admits it. He's like, yeah, I was kind of a bitch before, but I was willing to put that Brandon behind me. But fuck it, if he wants to fire me.
You know, it keeps coming up because of Paul.
He also says that side only came out because of Paul, and that Paul would do things to bring out that anger in him, which I could totally see from the way he was acting earlier. So now we resume the countdown, and Jon Taffer ends up revealing the new bar to them.
South Beach, Las Vegas.
And it has a nice big green glowing sign out front. It looks pretty good, I do like it. And then now they go inside, and inside looks incredible. Everything's like gold. It actually gives me big Suicide Squad vibes when Margot Robbie's like dancing in that lounge. Totally like the same thing to me. They got gold furniture, gold drapes. I think it looks great. I just really like how everything looks in there.
It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
What don't you like about it, Paul? I think it looks fine. Come on, Paul. I think you're getting a little angry for nothing.
It is what it is.
They do end up doing the relaunch without Paul. He's just gone. We don't see him at all the rest of the episode.
It's too bad Paul can't be with us.
We also get to see their performance platforms, and I think they kind of suck. Later on, when they show them actually dancing on there, they look a little better, but they're just like glowing little stands that they stand on and just like wiggle around for people instead of having like a stage to put on a show. I don't know. I don't like them as much. It gives more stripper vibes than putting on an actual show, which maybe that's what they want. I don't know. And then John also got them some weird like tiny little butler outfits to wear with these little bow ties while they're bartending. Very odd, but sexy. And then they let the crowd into the new bar. Everyone's loving the drinks, and it's time for Jon Taffer to go. He ends up saying bye to Jerry and Chino, and Chino does say that even though Paul's not there, he thinks that they could do this without him.
With him or without him, I know I can pull it off.
So now it's time for a little update. I actually have them all mushed together because it just makes sense that way. So Paul ended up resurfacing 2 days later and closed SBLV's doors. And as of 3 months later of them checking, Paul still hasn't reopened the doors and hasn't cleared his debt at all. Paul did end up moving his staff to another bar down the road, and then in January 2014, Paul announced that he would be stripping out the entire interior of the club. He planned to remodel it and reopen it as a day and ultra lounge. This was stalled when the county wanted more land and adjacent expansion. Not really sure exactly what that means, except the county took his land, I'm assuming. And then in 2020, the building was demolished with plans to rebuild it from scratch. It was found that the costs to remodel were found to be higher than rebuilding. And then Brandon also stated on Facebook that this episode was a sham, and he claimed that there were parts that were scripted and set up. And then in April of 2022, Paul did pass away. I'm not sure how, it doesn't say, but he's dead. Alright, well that's gonna do it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. That was a pretty fun episode. I didn't expect him to be dead at the end of the episode. That was a little wild. But to be honest, from the beginning of that episode, I did not think that bar was gonna be a success, so it being closed at the end does not surprise me. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this one. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out, Girl Scouts.